It was the finale of season 29 of the challenge Invasion of the Champs tonight. So stay with us as we break it down and we talk all about it up next on AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
So we have this happy, upbeat song playing, but we're not that happy with the way the finale went tonight for several reasons, and we'll break it all down. But to start, my name is Jenna Bussiere. I'm lead hosting tonight, and you can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere. We have Pamela in studio, and we have Paulina somehow through the phone system. So we're going to introduce everybody. Let's go ahead, Pamela.
Hi, guys. This was a wild one. You can find me on the internet at Pamela Gross Jill, and thank you for joining us. Excited to talk about tonight. Excited and sad, but we'll get into it.
Paulina, where you at, girl?
Hi.
The voice from
Hi,
above.
guys.
What's up?
This new contraption called the telephone, Jenna, that you've never heard of before.
That's cool.
That's sophisticated.
All right. So
you guys didn't like the finale at all?
So yeah, we're gonna break down all of the details about the finale, but just overall, I was disappointed, to say the least. I don't think it was as exciting as it could have been. It kind of fell flat for me. Yeah, there wasn't that climactic point of it. It just never had that energy. It just kind of, the challenges, the time buster, it all just kind of fell a little flat for me. How about you?
I agree with you. I think that what we learned from this experiment was a 3-day challenge, though it sounds exciting, really doesn't work for TV. It's too spread out. You don't get to see the head-to-head, which in a competition like this where the stakes are high is really important to see. When you're just sort of timing 6 people in all these epically long things, there's not a lot of like, they're right behind them. You really don't get to see them compete. And I'll save my feelings on the very end till we get there.
The results.
Not even the results, but the whole production of the ending just left me like, what? Like, we didn't even see any of the individual competition. We saw your goddamn montage. Like, get out of here with your goddamn montage.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, talking about what they've gone through this season. I was like, but who's winning? What's happening? And then I didn't understand it when they showed it. It didn't...
Where's the competition?
Yeah,
where's that?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of that tension and the drama and the stakes that I was like, wait, what? Did she just win? Did he just win? Why are they doing this?
Exactly. It was kind of just a lame finale, I think.
Yeah.
There wasn't that high running tension. Paulina, what did you think as I'm looking to the sky?
Paulina?
I wasn't as disappointed. I'm always excited, obviously, for the times and all that stuff to see who wins. I think what I didn't like, and you guys had said this, was it was flat. It was endurance. It was kayaking 10 miles, and it wasn't like physically, mud fighting or, anything exciting like that. And honestly, when they said they were going to start the individual competition, I thought it was going to be a lot more than swinging from a boat.
I
and
agree.
Swimming to a buoy, and then that was the end of it. Like, I thought there were going to be, like, 4 more checkpoints for them to get through.
Yes. Like another day where you had the opportunity. So you had, a time with each partner, each person, each female was matched with each male. But I do think that it would have been a lot more exciting if they had the opportunity to make it up. That was a real weak sauce challenge. That final thing, the personal thing, was hang from a boat and swim for, like, we couldn't tell how long because they did a fucking montage. Excuse me, but did a
I
gosh
would have
darn
liked it if they
montage
added more things to it.
Yeah, like we didn't even
after that.
watch it. It wasn't even enough for them to show.
that their individual time to shine as a competitor, what everybody on the show has been waiting for, was them just swinging from a rope and swimming. And it looked so easy for all of them. It didn't challenge any of them. They went into it saying, oh, I really hope I don't fall off. Ashley said her life was at risk for this. Like, the most dramatic thing. But there was nothing challenging about that to any of them. They swung with ease. They jumped off. They swam up. They ran on the beach like Baywatch. It just wasn't even hard. Their one time to prove themselves, Kamila was all pumped up. Everybody was happy. This is when they were going to be on their own, and it wasn't anything worth proving from an athletic standpoint.
I think that from the competitor's perspective, it was physically enduring and hard for them to actually complete. But as it's hard. Like, you're a TV show. Your job is to create the drama and make it exciting for the viewers. And it just wasn't that for me at all.
I agree. I feel like the producers of the show pulled a Corey, and they were like, we've got this last challenge. Let's clip together a montage and then announce the winner. I was thinking, and I agree, Paulina, that I was like, man, after rowing 10 miles, that's going to be hard. Like, holding onto a swinging.
Right.
It was building up, and then they were like, meh, let's who cares? We don't need to show this. Like, I would have liked to see them struggle, or it was easy. It was literally, I don't want to die by dragons, and then you see Nicole running on the beach.
She did say dragons, right? Nicole thought there were dragons in the water in Thailand, I guess?
Nessie's in Scotland,
I mean,
Nicole.
are we that surprised with Nicole?
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
Nicole.
But I completely agree. I think that it was probably extremely grueling to participate in. It's so tough on your body, but for us to watch it, it wasn't captured well on TV. There was nothing for us to get excited about. There was nothing for us to kind of cheer about. We're all just like, all right, now we're waiting to see if the time adds up.
Right.
Which I want to ask you guys, do you like when it comes down to an added time, or do you like when it's a neck and neck foot race and you can visualize and it's a race up to the top of the mountain, which they've done so many times in finales also, where you're seeing, oh, bananas, it's right behind CT. Oh, who's going to win? Instead of, okay, now we just have to wait anyway and see if this time is added.
I think that you just full on called out why this 3-day competition lackluster, because it was so long. And it was based on time. We rarely got to see that. We rarely got to see that head-to-head competition, which is, I think, what the viewers have come to love in the challenges. It's supposed to be a challenge where you're like, she's coming up right behind her, and they're yelling at each other, and it's dramatic. And this was just like, oh, I wonder at the end who strung the most freaking prayer beads on the goddamn wire. It was like just these busy activities, and then it's like, who did it fastest? Even though some of them were physically grueling, I'm sure they did not do a good job, because maybe it wasn't the foot race that we're used to, or other things like that, of showing the grueling nature of it. It looked like it was arduous.
Exactly.
But it didn't necessarily look like they were even feeling that tension.
It wasn't captured well. And I don't know if this was just me. I don't want to be insensitive to the competitors. I'm sure it was so exhausting.
Agreed.
But it looked like they personally lacked so much energy. I know every finale is so hard, and they're, like I said, exhausted, but it looked like they weren't even pumped up to be there. They didn't even want to be at the final.
Well, exactly on that, great competitors like Nelson, like CT, like Kamila, like Corey, all because of this 3-day. I think this was like an experiment that failed, and I think they probably won't do it again. But because of that, there's these amazing competitors. The challenges, typically, you go through this grueling thing. If you finish, it's because you never gave up. There's these awful epic things. And this was like, we timed out, let's keep going, which really stole the momentum from the viewer. It's like, well, they timed out. Hope it doesn't matter that much in the time at the end.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they announced their times. Did they announce everybody's final time?
So we don't even know if this is the real outcome or not.
Right,
It's all rigged.
Well, he said the 2 minutes, and that's like, wow, you want to see that. Like, how long did it take, Kamila? What was between? How long did it take, Smashley? I want to know those things.
Yes.
It's just like,
I love that you pulled her nickname out.
Yeah, after all that, it's like, you're first, you're second. It was like, oh. I mean, I frankly didn't realize that the show was over. I really didn't understand.
Okay, exactly. So they're doing their last individual challenge where they learn that they have to hang on this rope and then swim. And Pamela and I looked at each other and said, this can't be it. Like
no.
there's a twist. We paused it a few times. We saw the time duration. It looked like there was way too much time for that to be the final individual event of this final.
Yeah.
And we're like, no way. Like, they're doing a montage. This is obviously the end. Everybody's running up to the podium like they just won their award. How can this be the ending to this?
You know, I skipped through the montage.
Did you?
I don't blame you.
I
think that's when
I did
yeah.
because look, I love the show. I've watched it clearly from the first episode, and I already know what they've done. I get it. That's part of the television. But as a viewer, I want to see them compete. I want to see some blood. I want to see some anger. I want to see something more than what they've already been through. You know, that's what the reunion is for, is to talk about it.
Yeah, and furthermore, usually after they're like sweating and nearly died and had to drag their partner up is when they flash back and show what they've been through to get there. This time it was like, all right, gonna hop on a boat. And then they showed the montage. So it's like...
Yeah, and then the whole time thing, like, I don't like not knowing. You know, obviously they can't show the whole 6 hours it takes to bead a wire or anything like that. But I mean, I think there is an authentic feeling of rooting for someone and cheering from your couch, like watching a basketball game or a football game, and you're like, go, 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 you know? And I love that part of sports, and which is why I love the challenge. And so I think certain challenges and certain, you know, checkpoints can be timed. I think it's appropriate, but for the long run, you know, in the final, I think it shouldn't be.
And this is what TJ said as everybody's running up to the podium. Congratulations, guys, for completing the hardest challenge in the challenge history. I said, really?
Longest.
But you know what? It probably was. You know, I've never kayaked for 10 miles, and so I don't know what that's like. I've kayaked for maybe one in 5th grade. I don't remember. But so it probably was very, very, very hard. It just wasn't exciting for television.
This is true.
It was the longest challenge for sure. The hardest, though, I think part of it is the surprises and the grueling nature of the endurance and knowing you only have that one shot. So I'm sure it was extraordinarily hard, but it's a different kind of hard. There's no right answer to that, so whatever.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice even if on a day, at the end of day 1, they gave times. Like, it was like...
So we had some kind of idea.
Right, like, ooh, it's neck and neck, or
third,
we sort of had to guess.
What does this person have to do? Yeah. It wasn't very clear to us throughout the entire time where everybody stood. We just had to kind of assume. I mean, you could tell that Corey was in third the whole time because
we knew about
he
Corey.
didn't complete any of the obstacles. But let's get into the results quickly while we have Paulina on the phone, and then we'll go through again and just talk about all the obstacles and get through the meat of it. So for the guys, we see, shocker, Corey finished in 3rd. Obviously was disappointing as a competitor in a final.
Yes.
How did you guys feel about his performance?
Me. No, I don't know. I feel like he could have done better. I feel like everyone could have done better. Everyone had their bad days. I feel like he is a good competitor, but I think he needs to have a better attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
because half of these things, like people who play sports, what they say is 90% of a game is mentality. And he was just not mentally there when we see him working with Kamila. And he kept trying to motivate himself, but every day was with a partner. And if you don't have a good partner, you're not going to perform well.
He checked out so easily.
Yeah.
It didn't take much for him to just kind of hang his head and say, oh, well, I'm throwing my hands up.
Right.
You're not doing this. I can't possibly figure it out on my own. He didn't really add that much to the partnerships he was in. It kind of was left up to his partner to seal a deal for his obstacles.
And I agree, Paulina, that like sportsmanship and the right attitude is a ton. And I do think he had a bad attitude. However, I do think it's not. I think he saw. I mean, like, definitely hands down. This was not for you, Corey. Like this 3-day, like this was not. He was like, oh, he just seemed as confused as I am about the finale all the time.
He was dazed and confused that whole damn time.
Yeah, he was not like he didn't seem to be following what was going on. But in his, what I will say, just to defend him a tiny bit, again, I completely agree that it wasn't cool, but he was sort of right when he was like, each day I had the wrong partner. Really did. On like the brains day, he was with Nicole.
Yeah.
On the like tight would have like grabbing jumping thing, he was with Kamila. And then on the upper body day, he was with Smashley. Like he really did.
Yes.
You can't blame it. If he was CT, it wouldn't have mattered. So I can't say you can blame it on that, but he would have had a lot better luck if he had more complementary partners on days that were better suited to it. I still think I don't think it would have affected the overall outcome, but I think he maybe wouldn't have lost every day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you still have to prove yourself regardless of your partner, but I do agree that did play a lot of unfair circumstances for a few of the other athletes. So second, Nelson, and man, he is never going to let himself live this down. This is his Super Bowl. You heard it from day one. He wants nothing more than to come first place in the challenge. And when they announced CT, you just see Nelson's face drop. He is so pissed. He's livid that he is in second.
He did a great job. I mean, I feel like how much, because they did show the money tally at the end. What is Nelson taking home? Do we know?
36,000.
It's not bad.
No.
It's not bad.
I mean,
yeah, but it ain't first place.
It ain't 100.
Exactly. It's not the money. It's
Hey, I understand where he's coming from, but I know he wants to win. But that's just more motivation for him to come back even stronger for next season if he does come back.
So CT comes in first. Are we surprised? I feel like as soon as we saw the cast for this season, we probably thought it was going to be CT or Bananas winning, or possibly Darrell. CT ends up walking away with the trophy, and he's super cute about it. He's all emotional. He's in dad mode. How did you feel when CT got first?
Like the emoji with heart eyes. So happy and great. This was CT's time to win, I think, because he won challenges before.
Yes,
a lot
he
of them.
won with Rivals with Wes.
Rivals with Wes. Oh, cute.
First one, yeah.
Well, now he's the dad. He's gone through the DM stuff. He's just adorable. He is I couldn't believe it was 15 years when he was like, I started this 15 years ago. I never thought my 15 minutes of fame would last 15 years.
Right?
This is amazing.
Oh,
he's very humble. He's very adorable. I feel like I know him the best of all the competitors. He's been in it a long time. He absolutely deserves it. So I feel nothing but unicorns and roses about it. Really happy.
Unicorns and roses.
Yeah, I mean, like I would have been just as pleased had Nelson won, because he also put up a really good fight, but I do think CT.
I actually thought Nelson was going to walk away with it for some reason. I wanted CT the entire time. I said, you know what? Nelson's going to win this. But, Paulina, what did you think? CT, were you surprised? Well-deserved?
I was not surprised at all. I thought he deserved it. I was secretly rooting for him. You know, usually I go for an underdog. But he's a likable guy. And so
Extremely.
I wasn't surprised at all that he won.
Okay. So the girls stroll up.
How about you? What'd you think, Jenna?
I said that I thought Nelson was going to win.
Okay.
But I'm very happy that CT
You were surprised. Okay.
Loved it. Yeah.
I forgot. I was like, were you surprised?
Obviously, I kind of walked in thinking that he was going to take the entire finale, but now we just saw it tonight. The girls stroll up. We got Nicole in third, and she's pissed off, too. I don't think she realized how badly she did on all those puzzles and just how poorly she performed, at least on day one. So she seemed pretty shocked that she placed third.
Yeah. I mean, third's a bummer. That money difference is extreme. And I don't understand. Again, Nicole, math is not her strong suit, but she completely, pretty much, she was pretty far behind from those things. So, yeah, I also wasn't surprised by that. I don't know how she really could have made up that time, but it is still a bummer to find out.
So the main thing is, first and second for the girls, Kamila ends up placing second, and do you think it's actually really all her fault? I mean, I know it sounds hypocritical, as I just said, Corey still has to perform regardless of who his partner is, but I really feel like Kamila got dealt the worst hand in this entire final, and she kind of saw it happening in front of her eyes, and she knew she couldn't do anything about it, because how is she supposed to finish an obstacle with her partner when her partner will not compete in it with her?
Right.
So I feel like, what did you think about Kamila placing second?
I actually was not surprised either. I had a feeling Ashley was going to win, and I think I had said that last week. Where she got screwed is having to max out the time, not once, but twice. And that's a whole hour. 30 minutes is already a long time, and every second counts. So, I mean, maybe she can figure out a better way to talk to a partner for the next time. That's probably like the best thing that I can say, because you, besides motivation, you can't control the other person.
Right.
I actually think the way that she interacted with Corey was kind of almost not great, obviously, because it didn't work out, but Corey is saying, I couldn't concentrate because you were nagging me too much. I don't think Kamila pushed him nearly as hard as she should have. She was very patient, which we don't see with Kamila a lot. So I was kind of shocked how she played with Corey, and I thought she really could have pushed him, and it just, she seemed like a very patient partner, and I didn't expect that from her.
Agree. I think with that does have to be somehow in part because of their relationship, but she was as patient, I think, as you can be with him. I think it was a kind of a cheap dig of relying, when he said that, it's like relying on her reputation. Like, nah, she was pretty gentle with you, Corey.
Yeah, I thought
like she would have, it would have been like, you moron.
Exactly.
Yeah, like she was not really very hard on him. That was kind of cheap of him. I think that you saw the regular Kamila with no, like, hurry up, go left, go right. Like, usually she's bossy, and she was not bossing him around nearly as much. I think she wanted to be gentle with him.
So,
and
I don't know if there was more she could have done from that standpoint, because if she were to push him too hard, he's already saying, you were nagging me too much. Imagine if she really was actually yelling at him throughout that entire challenge.
Yeah, but I think he was, like, genuinely, like, upset with himself because they had maxed out the time before with the rope.
Right.
So he was already, like, pissed off. He was already down in the dumps, and I guess, you know, the way that she was talking to him, which I agree is not that bad, he was not for it at all. Not having it.
I think she was aware that he was down in the dumps and just trying to get him through it. Like, I think she was just trying to placate him and get through it as best as they could, which was the smartest strategy at that point. Yelling at him about being a moron probably wouldn't have helped. And so she was just like, okay, well, what do you need? Yeah, I agree that at least from what we saw, she really kept her cool. And I do think that he knew it too. I think it was a kind of peace offering when they were back at the, you know, whatever.
Shelter.
And, the shelter. He's like, you better hope tomorrow's not a puzzle. Like, that was his being cute.
But she's, wait, but
no,
he's
he was
worse
kidding.
at
No,
puzzles
he
than
was
she
joking.
is.
He was saying, like, I think that was him trying to give a peace offering.
I think he was trying to take a sarcastic, subtle dig at her, and he was actually kind of being a little mean, just
I took it as
way.
him trying to apologize, like, and being joking, and being like, because he was kidding, like, because obviously you can do it and I can't. That's how I interpreted it. Maybe I'm giving Corey way too much credit, and I thought she didn't get it either, so maybe I'm making it up.
I feel like poor Kamila, it obviously comes down to each person individually, but I almost feel like it doesn't in this final. Honestly, we're saying it this whole time, but she really got unlucky with the way that her partnerships matched up throughout the final. So we have Ashley. Miss Smashley comes in first, and oh, did she just win an Academy Award or what?
It's like, shut up,
Seriously.
Ashley. Yeah, I'd like to thank CT. I mean, seriously, she could have given a speech with the Buddha in her hand or whatever. She just, I don't know. Clearly I wanted Kamila to win. I think she is the champ. But also, they didn't given that it was such a partner-heavy thing and it was different from day to day, they should have given that much to the individual, not one stupid leg.
Yeah,
it's as if the
that's what
individual thing
sucks.
was bead stringing. It's like, it came down to that. Like, give someone like Kamila a chance to make up time.
Yeah.
Or something.
It doesn't even pan out with this season either, because it was champs versus underdogs.
Right.
So how is it now a partnership final instead of individual? At that point, you don't need teams. You don't need anything. There's champs and there's underdogs, and now their teams are intermixed the entire time anyway. So partnerships didn't have to happen, maybe for a few challenges, but I think we all agree that we definitely wanted more individual.
Yeah.
Especially the way that all these competitors have been talking all season, how they want to prove their worth, how they're better than each other. They didn't really get to prove it because they were so reliant on somebody else the entire time.
Agreed. And also, usually with the previous competitions, at least you're invested in the partnership. Like, there's something to that with this and the mixing, and it's the underdog. It's like, it was a poorly executed competition season. It was good. I enjoyed the season because I enjoyed the drama. I enjoyed some of the, the challenges that they went through to get there. But this final challenge, the whole meaning of a challenge and a finale, you don't have 3 of them and you don't switch partners off. Like, there was no investment because you want to see this team that's worked together the whole time come together at the end. Like, the way that this panned out.
There are differences. There's a whole different bunch of variables that can play in, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, and a lot of times I feel like, say what we will, but the right person wins. Like, sometimes I really do feel like
And you don't feel like that with Ashley?
And now, she did. Again, like, she did a good job and she won. So I can't, she went through these physically grueling things and she won. I think, hands down, there's no way if it was individual competitions all the way through, or CT and Kamila versus her and anyone, she would have won. Okay. So I do think she deserved to win, quote unquote.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think it was fair and that she won, and I can very impassioned about this.
I know.
But
we almost had to get in a fight out there. You were very fueled up.
2 Jersey girls, get into it. This is going to be peanut butter and dragons and diapers.
Peanut butter. Paulina, do you kind of agree with that? Do you think Ashley would have won if this was an individual final? Do you think that she deserved to win?
I think she deserved to win. She wasn't a likable person by the people in the house. She had gone into the, what was it called again? The
shelter,
fortress. She had gone into the fortress plenty of times, and I do think she earned her spot. I could have done without the drama and the attitude in between them at the house, but for the most part, I do. Everybody I think expected Kamila to win, and Ashley did a great job. Like, I can't say she did a terrible job because she didn't.
I will admit, I'll admit that she really competed well. She did surprise me. Again, as I brought up before, I'd like to say, the night before the challenge, Ashley wanted to go home.
I know.
I wish they sent her
and
right
hopefully
on
next
out of there.
season, if she comes back, she has a better attitude. I think she will be a lot more confident going into next season.
Yeah, I'm just resentful because, during her montage, she's telling us what she learned and how she's grown. 4 days ago, she wanted to go home. Like,
wow, you really grew a lot in a 3-day finale.
Like, wow, you sure did. Yeah, I guess $100,000 will make anyone grow.
She was never going home. She was doing that for intention
and
drama.
But that's so obnoxious. Like,
no,
that's,
I agree.
Again, someone that really has put a lot into it. I think... I do think it's fair. I'm not going to sit here and say like it wasn't fair. I think it was fair, and I think she did deserve, quote unquote, to win. I just think it's a tough pill to swallow for Kamila because the outcome, it's like anything else. It could have been had X, Y, or Z things changed. It could have been totally different. And I liked Kamila said it really well. I think when she said, like, I'm not going to say I'm happy about 15,000 when 100,000 is what was the net, a little bit different time would have been 100. It's a big.
And she was visibly disappointed, but I thought her reaction was a little bit underwhelming considering, she lost this finale. She seemed to kind of just take it. Like, she almost knew going into it that she was not going to get first because of the hand that she was dealt. So unfortunate for Kamila. Paulina, are you staying on the line, or would you want to go over?
Well, I'm actually going to hit the sack in a little bit, but I just wanted to remind you that the reunion is next week, and guess who's hosting it?
Oh, the reunion.
Who?
The Miz.
Oh, throwback.
Okay,
nice.
Great.
Good. Hopefully he can get some tensions running, some emotion from these people, because they look washed up during the final.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I'm excited to see him because I watch him on Total Divas.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see him. But also the premiere of Chance versus Pros is also next week, right after.
And we'll be here back to review it on AfterBuzz. So Chance versus Pros, the challenge.
Do you guys know who's on it? I'm actually really excited.
I know Anissa, which I'm excited about.
Oh my God, Anissa's
coming
back?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. She's not.
Yeah, I swear I
saw. Fake news right now.
Oh.
I haven't been able to really research this upcoming season.
No, I don't think so. It's Kamila, Cara, CT, Daryl, Bananas.
Daryl's back.
Wes is back.
That's awesome.
Wes is back. Ashley Kelsey, Smashley.
Oh God.
CT, Jordan.
Oh, Jordan, like Jordan.
Oh, nice.
Jordan
Yeah, we need to see Jordan
and
back. We haven't seen him in a
and
while.
I was actually really
And
surprised to hear
Bananas,
about this.
right?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Veronica from way
I
back.
swear it said Anissa and
Wow.
Veronica are. Check it out. Look, I'm not
I
looking.
would love if
I think
Anissa
it
came
said
back.
it, and I saw a clip of her. And tonight they showed some Anissa.
your
So maybe
eyes
she's
deceive
just
No,
gonna-
I think that was no. They showed like a special, and like Anissa was like talking about it.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll have
Anyway,
to
I think
figure
I don't
that
know.
out.
I'm
We're
I'm
gonna
literally on the
find
internet
that
right now
out.
looking at it.
Okay,
next
check it
week.
out. But that is really exciting.
All
Yeah,
right.
and
so
so
join us
I'm
for that.
I'm excited for that because
Yeah.
they're going against people who, you know, they're not reality TV stars starting up drama. You know, they're focused and they're disciplined on, you know, their sport. So for them to come into this drama world
Right.
is going to be very interesting, and I think it's just a totally different dynamic, and I'm really excited for the show.
Like, are they all going to be in a house together?
They have to be.
You know what? I think that'd be a terrible, terrible
God, I think
idea.
that'd be
And just
amazing.
if I was
Come
their
on.
athlete's publicist, I would say absolutely not.
Yeah.
I would say put them in a
What
house.
are your
Put 'em
expectations?
in a
Do you
house.
think that the challenge competitors will actually be able to hold up to professional athletes? I kind of, even though the challenge competitors are more experienced in these kind of games and obstacles, I honestly don't know how they're going to fare against professional trained athletes. We have Olympic athletes. Sean Merriman, linebacker for the Chargers. Like,
really?
how is Johnny Bananas going to go against somebody 200 pounds heavier than him?
Well, because
You know what?
they-
I think it just depends. It depends on the challenge. It depends on the obstacle. I mean, we have these champions who literally train all year to go on this show, and they already know what kind of things they're going to be doing, while the pros, they're specialized in one thing. You know, one
Right.
person is specialized in is a fantastic, excellent swimmer because he's a surfer, or a snowboarder, or, you know, things like that. So
right.
I think it just depends, and I think all in all it will balance out.
Agreed. TJ's a pro skateboarder. He couldn't do this. He couldn't beat any of these people.
I wish
don't
TJ
think.
did.
Yeah,
I
mean,
would love
think
if TJ did put his money
know.
where his mouth is because he loves to call people out.
even
Oh, yeah.
TJ, I feel like this finale was like, oh, the voiceover. Wait, we have to talk about that. Oh my God, yeah, the like ADR that they put
Well,
over.
they showed a shot of just a competitor standing there, and then TJ explaining something for like 2 minutes that was clearly not his voice. It sounded like he was in an echoing room 3,000 miles away. Clearly a voiceover.
Yeah, again, I feel like the producers were like, wait, what was this one? And it was
how do
like
we
champs
stitch this
versus
together?
right, champs
Yeah.
versus underdogs. So after they filmed it all, it's like, who's it going to be, a champ or an underdog? Who's going to take home the gold? It's like, oh right, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that at the end.
Wait, my favorite part was when they were doing the beads, when they were threading, making the prayer beads bracelets, the longest necklace in the world, and the competitors completely lost interest in it in their own final, that they walked away, and TJ had to come in like the scolding parent and yell at them for stopping a competition because they were just so bored with it.
Right.
Like,
Oh my
that
God.
was such a just. Did that need to happen?
And my favorite part was when they ate tuna, beans, and corn, and I was like, oh, that's
Did
good.
it make you hungry? That was your
I
favorite
thought
part?
no, not at all. I thought like, wow, they must be really hungry
Yeah.
because they were like, oh yes, like they were super stoked on that, and it's like that doesn't look that good.
Paulina, did you have a favorite part of this finale?
No, not really, to be
No?
honest.
All right, well, there's that.
No, I didn't. I mean, hopefully, I think I'm more excited for next week, to be honest. I want to
Yeah.
see the reunion. I want to see all the drama unfold and have them really talk about
absolutely.
certain things. And I want to see the champs versus pros. That's probably
Mm-hmm.
going to be the most exciting, thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff next week. Okay. Anything else you guys want to talk about, or
More disappointment. Are we?
do we want to talk more disappointment? I feel like we kind of talked so much about this final that people might shut us off.
Okay.
I don't know.
I do think also that my last comment on that is that everybody, like the competitors, the producers, TJ too, was like, well, congratulations. Like usually he's like, wow, man. He even seemed like, what was this crap? Like
It lacked
you swam so
energy
good.
as a whole. Yeah,
His face even
exactly.
looked like, you got it done, man. Congratulations. It's like,
like no one was excited to be there. This is a challenge. You're about to win some money. I'm sorry you're tired, but like this is it, and then you're done. You can take your year off to the next one.
yeah, except CT. He was the only one that did.
Yeah.
We were like, yay, oh my God, he's got a baby and he won, and yay.
Yeah.
Everyone else, it was like,
La-di-da.
you know, bummer for Nelson, 2 minutes, 22 seconds.
I have
gotta
a feeling
smart.
Nelson will be back many a time.
That's gotta
for
smart.
the challenge.
That definitely has to hurt. But yeah, other than that, no, I'm excited. Again, I do think it was an experiment on their part, and you know, they can't all be the best challenge ever.
Yeah.
But I think that we definitely learned that the 3-day partners / individual competition doesn't have the stakes that we
Maybe
need.
they'll kind of wash that technique
Yeah.
out for the rest of
Didn't
the
really
finals.
work so much. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That was the end of season 29. We're on to the next. We got Champs vs. Pros next week, and we got the reunion. And we are also reviewing it here on AfterBuzz TV, so make sure you catch us next Tuesday as well. My name is Jenna Bussiere. You can find me at Jenna_Bussiere on Twitter. And to my left...
Okay, guys, thanks. Sorry for listening to me whine about this, but man, I feel the pain of all the people. Join us next week. We're all super excited for that, so that'll be a new journey. And again, I'm Pamela Gross. You can find me at Pamela Gross Jill on Twitter and Instagram.
And shout out Paulina up there in the heavens for calling us tonight.
Yay!
She's still here. She ain't here anymore. Well, thanks anyway if she's
Bye,
watching
Paulina. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. See you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.